In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." There was light. God saw the light and that it was good.
It's a Friday once again.
Hello, my fellow freaks, and welcome back to the channel. By the way, anytime you see me wearing my ICP hoodie, it's just because I'm too lazy to get dressed. I'm having a lazy week. But welcome back. I hope that you have all had a great week. Now, this weekend, we have two holidays happening. Easter and 420 at the same time. So there were kind of two routes I could have taken for the theme of this week's movie. However, I feel like by now it is pretty certain which path I have chosen, and that is the path of 420 Blaze It. And this is just for one sole reason. Trust me, I would love to review some kind of Easter horror movie. I'm sure there are plenty out there. But hey, I talk about Charles Band a whole lot on this channel so far, but I have yet to review one of his movies. So why don't we take a look at something that I never got the chance to see when I was younger, which is Charles Band's Evil Bong. Hey, you know, the very first shot of Evil Bong is a Jesus statue smoking a J. It kind of satisfies the Easter 420 theme going on anyway. When I was in middle school, I was like crazy into Charles Band movies. I mostly watched the Puppet Master series. Though, while sprinkling in like a few other classics like Killjoy or The Ginger Dead Man. And if you are a regular viewer of this channel, then you know how much I love Charles Band. Like, I will bring him up in a review whenever I can. So I think it is time for us to finally look at one of his movies for this channel. Unless it's, if you're not familiar with Charles Band, be prepared. His movies are ridiculous, but I love them so much for how ridiculous and unhinged and just like he comes up with some of the craziest shit, dude. And it's just like it's always a fun time going into a Charles Band movie, or maybe more specifically a movie that comes out of Full Moon Pictures. I'm sorry, allergies are getting to me, and so like my nose is, I keep mispronouncing stuff that is so simple to pronounce. I promise I didn't actually light up before this. I can't do this under the influence. Are you kidding me? But also, like I mentioned, I've been watching his movies for a really long time, and the only reason why I have not watched more of his films is because right when I was allowed to start watching horror movies, Blockbuster went out of business. I also grew up with dial-up internet, so it's not like streaming it online was an option for me. My literal only option after Blockbuster left was to get my parents, more than likely my dad, to take me to FYE every weekend, and I would buy whatever new movie I wanted to watch. I had to literally buy used at FYE. So yeah, after Blockbuster left, I didn't get to watch a whole lot of Charles Band movies after that, so I haven't seen his full catalog like I would like to. But guess what? I'm a bitch with a YouTube channel now, and I can use watching these films and making a video about it as an excuse to finally get through more of the Full Moon Picture catalog. Get used to Charles Band. He's not leaving this channel. I'm a big fan. I'm using this as an excuse to watch more of his movies. Let's talk about Evil Bong. But first of all, if you are new here, hi, my name is STARGUTZZZ. Any crashing, loud noises, commotion that you might hear in the background are my cats, and my reviews tend to be more of a discussion of things that I find are good or bad about a picture rather than just giving you the play-by-play of everything that happens in it. So in other words, I tend to be as spoiler-free as possible, though spoilers will sometimes arise as they pertain to the discussion that I'm having with the film. And if you would like to watch Evil Bong before the rest of this review, it is on our good friend Tubi. I will put the link in the description so it is that much easier for you to go out and watch this movie. Not sponsored yet. One day we will get a Tubi sponsorship, and I don't know what that will look like, but it'll happen. Let's get into it. The story follows a group of 4 college-age guys rooming together in a studio apartment, 3 of which are considered dropout stoner losers, while the 4th is a stereotypical geek studying chemistry. The law school dropout Larnell orders a cursed bong from a magazine ad, ignoring the warnings. Once arrived, the strange-looking bong, which is actually, it's more of a hookah, really, slowly begins transporting and trapping the souls of its users into a limbo-like dream world. It's up to the sober geek to save his friends by finally getting stoned himself. And also, Tommy Chong helps out, too.
It's the Bong, man. It's evil.
He said it! He said it! He said the what?
I'm gonna be real with you. It's kind of slow. The story itself is kind of slow, but it's actually better than what I was expecting it to be. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess it's because... For a lot of the time, whenever I think of Charles Band now, I think of Killjoy. And so I expect the same quality that Killjoy was. But actually, the quality of Evil Bong is pretty choice. First of all, it's a 2006 movie, but the quality of everything kind of makes it seem more like it's in the 2010s. Also, fun fact for any of you who are English majors like I once was, Evil Bong does follow Joseph Campbell's A Hero's Journey. That's interesting. I just needed to note that. And okay, let's just jump right into it because it's slow, but also I need to let you guys know this is way more of a comedy film than it is a horror movie. Do not go into Evil Bong expecting many elements of horror to it. Does it have like the bare minimum? Yes, it has like the bare minimum for a horror movie. There's a little bit of blood and there's some deaths in quotation marks, but I would more compare it to something like Superbad. And low-key, I'm gonna say it, just because something has like an element of horror or shows blood, I don't know if that necessarily makes it a horror movie. Again, Evil Bong has like the bare minimum to make it a horror movie. It just barely scratches the surface. It is very focused on the comedy aspect instead. And I will say I did expect that. I expected that, you know, a movie called Evil Bong, and it's also by Charles Band, was going to be more focused on the comedy aspect of it rather than being something actually scary or ooky spooky. But I didn't expect it to be, you know, just comedy. I don't know. So I just want to put that warning first. Don't go into this expecting a horror movie. It's not a horror movie. It's super bad. But personally, you know what? Personally, I don't think it's bad, okay? I can see a lot of people going into Evil Bong and just immediately thinking that it's bad or stupid or trash, and I get it. It's valid. I see that perspective. I really do. But personally, Evil Bong, it feels like it's cult classic material. I mean, like, it feels like it is built to be a cult classic. Everything about it. Is it more comedy than horror? Yes. Is this supposed to be primarily a horror channel? Yes. But you know what? We're talking about just a straight up comedy this week, and I didn't think this comedy was half bad. Yes, it is definitely every middle school boy's favorite movie. Definitely. But okay. I feel like I say that quite a few times, right? And I think there is some sense where a movie that feels made for middle school boys is bad, and others where it feels good. And this is one of the ones where it feels good because it's fun, it's lighthearted, it's genuinely funny, and it's very harmless. Not like some of the other stuff that we looked at. I honestly wish that I had gotten the chance to watch Evil Bong when I was in middle school, because I would have been so obsessed with this. Are you kidding me? The way the adults act in this, that's exactly how I thought adulthood was going to be when I grew up.
Dude, just give it up, Lorna. She is so not into you.
What, is she mute or something? She can't talk for herself? I know it's a radical concept.
Whatever.
Sorry, Larnell, I'm not interested.
Oh, yeah.
crash and burn, dude.
It's very cathartic to see, like, I guess a caricature of the mid-2000s party adult. Because I would have been obsessed with that. I can't even lie to you. I would have been obsessed with this movie. So, since it's more of a comedy than horror, we need to talk about the comedy in it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the comedy is not gonna be suited for everyone. Think more like Looney Tunes and Hanna-Barbera. Now, I don't know why, but Evil Bong, the comedy in it, really reminded me of watching Looney Tunes or watching a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. That's the kind of comedy that you're gonna get out of it. If you think Looney Tunes is lame, if you don't like a good piece of Hanna-Barbera in your life, you're not gonna like Evil Bong. You're not gonna think it's funny. You're gonna think it's ridiculous and stupid and that it's for losers, okay? Whatever opinions that you hold about Looney Tunes is the opinion that you will hold about Evil Bong. Keep that in mind. The sense of humor definitely is not for anybody, or everybody, I mean.
What is this doing here?
Oh, that I got on my trip to Maui, man. It's like a souvenir.
So? What is it doing here? With my trophies! It's just sitting there, bro. That's what shells do.
But personally, I like that kind of humor. I like the goofy, clowny, ridiculous, unhinged, kind of cartoonish humor that's used in this. And I think it's used really well. It has a lot of very memorable moments and a lot of just even moments that are a little bit, just you can tell they're fluff, but they're fluff trying to be funny. It's still like good, you know? It's still like good and funny and enjoyable. For example, there is one and only sex scene in this movie. And really, I should be putting sex in quotations because if you've seen Evil Bong already, you know what scene I'm talking about. The one with the pogo stick. So sue me. I thought this scene was so hilarious. It's like one of my favorite scenes out of the whole movie is this one and only sex scene that happens.
Oh, the twister! Oh, the twister!
It is unhinged. I think it's hilarious. It's absolutely unexpected. And it's Looney Tune humor. It's Looney Tune humor, dude. And I love it. It's one of my favorite scenes in the whole thing. So sue me. Cuff me. Cuff me because I think that scene is funny, dude. And it has a lot of great, genuinely funny moments just like that. So yes, I just wanted to get that out of the way first, that we are definitely looking at a comedy movie. I don't even know if I personally would call this a horror movie, if I'm being genuinely honest with you. Yes, I see the elements of horror, the very minute elements of horror that is being used in this, but I would very strictly just call this a comedy. We're looking at a comedy this week, so. Now on to talking about just like the film in general itself. I honestly see way more positives about Evil Bong than I do negatives. Now, I believe it does have a cult following, but it also has a lot of people who believe that it's really stupid and dumb, and I get it. You're not fun. Just say that you don't like fun. But I personally found a lot of redeeming qualities about Evil Bong. First of all the characters are likable. I liked every single character that was on screen. Even if they're a character that's like a little bit annoying or they're supposed to be kind of a jerk, kind of an, annoying jerk. Despite that, it's really hard to hate them. They never even really give you a reason to hate them either. And they all have their own little quirks and mannerisms, their own personalities that I think mesh well together as like a collective. We have, the nerdy geek who actually cares about school, Alistair. I would also hate myself if I forgot to put in here, hi, editing Rachel, that Alistair looks like Jerma. Anytime that man is on the screen, all I see is Jerma, so do with that what you will. We have the law school dropout, Lan. Bro, what the fuck? Why didn't they just make his name with a B also? Anyway, we have the classic stoner surfer dude, Bachman.
Monkey.
And then we have like my favorite one. I don't know why, but I feel very partial towards Brett, who used to be a baseball all-star, but got surprised with a piss test and now can no longer play. But he's also like, of the three stoners, he is the most like capable, normal, and on track with his life, even though he gets in like little depressive episodes about no longer playing baseball. I really resonate with Brett. And then the girls are Luann and Janet. Even Luann, she could be a little bit annoying at times, but man, do I still like her character. It's not like she's a raging bitch or anything. She's still so likable. Along with this, the actors and the actresses, I believe, do a really great job in this movie. I mean, like, seriously, they are good actors. I believe they are genuinely good actors. If somebody disagrees with me, tippity type your little rant paragraph in the comments. But I actually think every actor and actress in this movie does an incredible job, which just adds to all of the characters' likability even more. And I genuinely can't think of a character that I dislike in it or that I wish weren't there. I like everybody. They all seem to serve a purpose. And I like how dynamic they all are and when they interact with each other. Like, I really enjoy the characters. And that's something I feel like I don't talk about or mention very much when I review a movie. I think it's just in this one it stood out so much because, like I said, this is like super bad. So think about how memorable and likable the characters are in Superbad. That's what Evil Bong is like. Not just the human characters though, but oh my god, the Bong herself. I believe her name is Evie. I love Evie. She is such a good character. I love her powers. I love her personality. I love everything about this character, and it is such a shame that we don't get to see her in action more in this first movie, at least. I would definitely watch more movies that have E.B. as the antagonist. Although, please let these other movies have her be more of an active part in the story. I get it, this is the first one. It's kind of like the establishing stepping stone for what goes on to be a 9-film franchise. 9 films of Evil Bong. In other words, I'm trying to foreshadow to you guys that we will be returning to the Evil Bong franchise after this one is done. Because I love E.B. I want to see more of E.B. I want her to be more of an active role in the story rather than just really kind of showing up at the last 30 minutes. Her powers especially, I think, are so cool, and I think it really fits the theme of this being like a stoner horror movie. I mean, after people smoke from her, she is able to collect their soul and suck them into her little bong body, and then they get trapped in a limbo, and the more souls that she feasts on, the more real she becomes in real life. I think that's so cool, and the fact that people get transported into this very dreamlike limbo state where they can easily be trapped and tricked into staying there forever. That is a very cool concept. That is a very cool power. I think it fits with the theme. It fits with the mood and the tone. And I love E.B. so much. I really want a replica of her. I know that Full Moon Pictures does do a lot of replica props. So I did crawl my way to eBay to see the E.B. replicas. Bro, what is this? I have a Blade replica that literally looks like Blade. What is this? All that to say that I would be better off making my own E.B. replica in the future. But I want E.B. I want E.B. like behind me. I love her so much. I cannot wait to watch the other 8 films. And finally, you know this review would not be right unless it was, the second week in a row that I am going to mention David Lynch.
Friday.
He's literally in my intro. I'm sorry, this man does not leave my mind for a second. But Evil Bong has a handful of moments that feel very what do you want to call it? Like Lynchian? Evil Bong has a lot of Lynchian moments going on in it, especially when we are in the dream-like limbo. There's one instance of it happening in the real world, and it is one of my favorite parts.
I'm a professional. I make over $200 a week. You look in the box, you get fired. Yeah, that's it. It's the item you've been waiting for.
But all of these limbo interactions with other club goers, it's just, man, these interactions are so strange and so weird, but they fit what's happening, right?
Hey, what's the suit, boyo?
Who are you?
Pipe down, clown. I'm the one asking the questions here. Do you know where we are?
No, no.
Well, do you? Don't you?
I'm...
Hey, look, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. But if you find a way out, will you tell me?
Yeah, sure.
It's fitting the tone of what's going on. They're stuck in a weird limbo. They don't know their way out. Who knows how long? These are probably other spirits. Who knows how long they've been here? And so it's just like these very weird dream-like interactions with the the three humans at least are all, to me, random characters. Are they also part of like the Charles Band cinematic universe or the Full Moon cinematic universe? Whatever you would like to call it. Because there are obviously some other guys that show up. There is the ginger dead man and the clown from Demonic Toys. So my question for those who have seen like the full catalog, are these humans coming in and having like the weird interactions with our regular cast members? Are they also references to other Charles Band movies? Please let me know in the comments, because I was so curious about that while I was watching this. I really love these weird Lynchian interactions that get added to the movie, because again, I think it matches the metaphysical, stoner, dreamy, weird tone that it's going for, and it was just like a nice additional little touch happening in the movie. Now, my opinions are not all sunshine and rainbows. I do have some complaints about Evil Bong. My biggest gripe with this movie is the fact, the kills. Man, could the kills have been a little bit more creative? The Evil Bong, I think, had so much potential for some really cool, crazy, out there kind of kills, only for every single person to die the same exact way. Compared to all the creativity that's going on in the rest of the movie, the kills is where you decide to like be lazy with it. Once these souls are trapped in the dream realm, everyone dies exactly the same way. Maybe with minor teeny tiny differences on where they get bit, right? Spoiler, I'm just gonna tell you, I guess. Everyone dies the exact same way, which is through a stripper wearing a bra, and the bra has some kind of like mouth on it, and the mouth like bites the person, and that's it. Why didn't you just call it Killer Bras? It's just so meh. It's so meh and basic for everything else that happens in the movie, especially with like how much more creative they could have been with the kills. You know, here are some of the ideas that I thought of while I was writing this review. What if somebody gets the munchies and they literally gorge themselves to death? What if somebody literally coughs up their lung? Let's go with the same kind of campiness that Charles Band loves to do. And why don't we have somebody literally stoned to death, like in the biblical sense, stoned to death? It just feels like there were so many opportunities for more out there kills than what we receive. And oh my god, it's just my biggest gripe. They all die exactly the same way through killer bras. There was so much more potential. There was so much more potential there, and this is what we got. If the other 8 movies does not improve upon the kill quality, I will lose it. But other than, you know, how boring and uncreative and just kind of annoying the kills are. As I said in the synopsis, it's very slow. It's a slow movie. It takes a long time for Evie to be like a really active part of the story. Like I said, it's kind of not until the last 30 minutes that she starts to like liven up and actually do some shit. And what she does, like, yeah, it's cool and it's fun, but it takes forever to get there. It takes forever to get there. The whole rest of the time, we're very focused on the comedy aspects, a lot of comedy fluff going on. And don't get me wrong, I love a lot of the comedy that's happening in this. There are a lot of memorable scenes, as I have mentioned, but oh my god, it takes forever to get to the point of what this is supposed to be about, kind of. So I guess technically you could call Evil Bong a slow burn, but I don't know. Overall, just don't go, if you decide to watch Evil Bong, do not go into it expecting a horror movie or even like a B horror movie. You're definitely going to get a comedy that feels very reminiscent of something like Superbad. And listen, to me, that's not really a bad thing. I get it. We look at horror movies here. I'm mostly concerned with horror movies, but I'm not gonna get in front of the camera and lie to you guys. I genuinely did enjoy this movie. I had a fun time watching it. I thought it was really funny, and I'm sorry, I enjoyed it. I did. I believe that I am now part of the cult following that Evil Bong has, and yes, I will be watching the rest of the movies. Even though it doesn't lean into this horror aspect very much, there are still a lot of redeeming qualities about it, you know? A lot of memorable moments. The characters are all likable. The main antagonist, Evie, is also very likable and really cool. I like a lot of the cool things that are happening in it. Why weren't the deaths cool, though? Like, why is that the one part of it that we skimped out on? And I do think, in general, I would have liked to see how this movie would have looked if the horror was leaned into just a little bit more. I love Evie and her powers, and I would have loved for this to be, like, a genuine stoner horror movie. That would have been so cool, but it's just like another funny stoner classic instead. I'm just saying though that I think it would have been really cool if this had been something that could actually be scary for stoners. You know what I mean? Like, there are some parts of it where it just feels like it had so much potential and it was dropped. There's 9 movies though. Maybe one of these other 9 movies will satisfy this though. I went back and forth a little bit on what to rate Evil Bong as, and I think in the end I'm gonna have to give it a B tier. I did consider A just because, like, I enjoyed it, right? I really enjoyed it. I didn't have a whole lot of complaints, but at the same time I didn't feel right about giving it the A tier because it's not like it's something that I'm crazy about. Typically, if I put a movie in A tier, I feel like really crazy about it. I'm like, oh my god. And while, yes, I did really enjoy Evil Bong, I do have that one major gripe, and I don't think it's something that I'm really gonna turn on again by myself unless I'm in a very particular mood. If I ever turned back on Evil Bong, it's mostly going to be if I have company over. But, like, it's not horrible. I genuinely do not think this is a bad film. I think B is the perfect rating for it. B for Bong. And like I said, it's definitely not gonna be a movie that everyone enjoys or likes. The comedy, especially, as I said, is very cartoonish, like Looney Tunes or Hanna-Barbera. So if you do not fuck with Looney Tunes or Hanna-Barbera, you are not gonna fuck with Evil Bong. But if you're just wanting something like simple and pretty funny to chill out to, I highly recommend it. Pun intended. And with that, we are done with yet another movie review. Thank you guys so much for making it all the way until the very end. If you liked this video, make sure that you stab that like button because it is a free and easy way to help support this channel, and I appreciate it so much. And if you just enjoyed this video so much that you want to hear me ramble about more obscure movies, B-movies, disturbing cinema, what have you, or if you just want to hear me make a fool of myself mispronouncing things as I talk too fast also, consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be notified every time I make a new upload. Movie reviews, by the way, are uploaded every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, is there a movie that you really like or maybe is like a little bit obscure that you would like to see reviewed on the channel? put it in the comments and maybe you'll see it show up soon. Thank you so much to anyone who considers doing any of this. It is very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Not often, but sometimes I go live. You can see the links somewhere on the screen, and they will also be in the description. The days vary depending on my schedule. Work is about to get crazy for me, so I don't know the next time I'll be able to stream. But when I do, I usually try to be on about 6 or 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then somewhere on the screen are some more socials that you can find me at if you feel the desire to do so. Again, just thank you so much for everyone who made it all the way until the very end. Our time here is precious, and the fact that you used your time to watch me, you know, sit here and ramble about a movie literally about an evil bong, a cursed bong that traps people and puts them in limbo and becomes metaphysically stronger. The fact that you just sat through this video to watch me ramble about that, thank you so much. I really appreciate that you used your time to spend on this video. If I do not see you in a live stream, I will catch you in next week's video. Until then, have a good night and stay safe out there.
Boys, I want you to meet Dame Rosemary Cornwallis.
It's like fever, my body takes fire when I see ya. Let me please ya, wanna make you beg for more as I tease ya. It's like fever, my body takes fire.
Oh my God.